Alright, this video is gonna be a lot different than anything else I have done previously, because instead of focusing on the exchanges, instead of focusing on the matchup itself, I wanna talk about a very bad habit that Caps has. And the habit has to do with how he translates his advantages. Let me show you what I mean. So here, Victor is winning his laning phase into Ahri, which is what you expect. He ends up crashing this third wave. He continues to trade with Ahri. Ahri's trading her HP for last hits, which is totally normal in this laning phase. But then at some point, Ahri gets so low after getting these last two last hits, as you will see, that she's gonna have to reset. Now, we need to look at one thing. Given that Victor has won the lane as it pertains to exchanges, and the wave condition is also good enough, he should be able to translate that advantage into something material, meaning that he's ahead in items, maybe he's ahead in gold, maybe he's ahead in experience. He needs to be ahead in terms of something. And as you will see in a second, after Chovy is back in lane, Caps is going to fail to do that. And that's because he has made a series of mistakes. And after we go over this, I will show you another example within the same game a couple minutes later, where he's gonna make the same one mistake. And it's gonna cost him a bunch of gold. So, Ahri is back in lane. She's backing off now because Zahen is showing in the bush. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that she's going to be able to crash the wave, take an exchange onto Victor, and now Victor is forced to reset. Because if he overstays, then he's ruining Zahen's game, because Vi can invade him on Raptor respawn, because she has tempo advantage. But then also he just might die in a 1v1 if Ahri lands one more skill rotation. He's not quite yet in the lethal range, but he is really close. So Chovy knows this. Because of that, he's hard pushing this wave. Now Victor is back from base with a TP. He has item advantage, but it's a temporary item advantage because Chovy just hard pushed a wave and reset himself. So now Chovy is ahead in items. And to make matters worse, he's not only ahead in items, but he's even in terms of gold and in terms of experience. So, what happened? Because Caps has made a bunch of mistakes. And the mistake starts after this third wave crash. The crash itself is correct. What's not correct, and what he didn't do, is he didn't pull out the melee minion. It's important that you pull out this melee minion. Why is it important that you do it? Because as you will see in a second, Caps ends up with a wave that is in a half crash, meaning that the range minions are under Ahri's turret, whereas her melees are outside of the turret. And in practice, what it means for Victor is that his melee minions, some of them are gonna suicide to the ranges. They're just gonna drop aggro from the melee after it dies, and then suicide to the ranges, which in turn is very important for Ahri, because what Ahri wants to do is she wants to clear this wave as fast as possible and reset. The longer she stays in lane, the longer it takes her to clear the minions, the worse her reset gets. So by having the wave here in a half crash, Ahri benefits from being able to last hit and clear the wave faster than she normally would be able to. And then the second advantage, that is a little bit more easy to understand, is that when the wave is closer to her turret, like in the case of a half crash, she is just simply a lot safer. She can last hit from under her own turret, she never has to step up in front of the wave. Whereas Victor, on the other hand, he kind of has to worry at all times that Ahri might have charm, that Ahri might land her charm. He cannot step up as deep as he normally would be able to if the wave, let's say, was here instead. So all of that combined makes it so that Victor has a harder time progressing. But that's not the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake happens now. Ahri goes for a reset after taking those two minions, and Victor misplays, because instead of hard pushing this wave, which is what he should have done, he's going to allow this wave to bounce back into him. What would happen if Victor hard pushed this wave? Two things could have had happened. One, he's hard pushing it and Ahri overstays, in which case she can get dove by Zahen, and also given that blue side has bot prio in theory, Braum could even move mid and secure this dive. But what would more likely happen is Ahri would commit to the reset, TP back, and then catch this wave under turret. And then during this, Victor would just click back, reset and TP back to lane. And to be clear, he wouldn't be ahead in items by any significant amount. But at least he would be in position to contest Ahri. He would be in position to take exchanges, whereas what happened in the game is Caps didn't reset at all, and he just gave up like 4 full waves of gameplay, because he cannot trade, because he's behind. And now we have the final mistake, which is important to acknowledge. Caps has to let this wave crash, clear it, go back, and press B. As he presses B, he is staring at Chovy. Chovy will have two options. He allows this wave to meet here and allows this wave to slow push. Or second option is he's hard pushing it. If he's hard pushing it, then you overstay as Victor. If he's allowing this wave to slow push back towards him, then you commit to the reset and you give up a minion, maybe two at most. But at least once again you play with better items than Ahri. He does the worst option, which is allowing this wave to be held in front of the turret, and Chovy punishes it. And that's the second last thing that I want to go over, which is how Chovy punishes it. Because this is something that players often do not understand, alright? It's very important that this wave doesn't crash too quickly. Because if this wave crashes too quickly, then Victor is going to be able to clear it and reset right after. So unless you want to reset yourself, which Chovy doesn't want to because he has item advantage, if he has an option between resetting on the same timer as Victor or having an item advantage over Victor, then you take the item advantage. How do you maintain an item advantage? You make sure that this wave, this cannon wave, doesn't crash too quickly. So that Victor cannot reset. He's locked onto the lane. And this is exactly what he did. He crashed this wave very, very late. And by late or early, what I am referring to is the proximity between these minions that crashed and the next wave, which in this case is very, very small. If he hard pushed this cannon wave, then there would be a bunch of minions here, and the proximity would be like this. This would be a late crash, meaning that the minions that just crashed are very, very far away from the next wave, meaning that your opponent has more time between clearing the wave and the next wave coming. So he can go for something like a reset. This can be also a positive for you as a mid laner if, let's say, Ahri wants to commit topside for a top dive, or if she wants to roam bot, if she wants to reset herself once again. It can be useful. In this case, it's not, which is why Chovy didn't do it. And so now as Caps is resetting, Ahri has time to hard push this wave, and this time she can commit to a hard push right away. She doesn't have to worry about crashing it late, because it's impossible for Victor to overstay. He's ruining the game for everyone, including himself if he overstays. Chovy knows this, so he can hard push right away himself, and then commit to a reset. To summarize all of this. What Caps had to do is first of all pull out. This wave needs to be pulled out, so it's not in a half crash. And second of all, this wave right here needs to be hard pushed, the next one. This needs to be hard pushed, so that Ahri has worse items than you by the time the cannon wave comes. And finally, I want to show you one more example from the same game. I need to find it though, first. Oh yeah, it's here. Look, Caps takes a really good exchange. Ahri is forced to flash out. She has no ult and she has no flash. Victor should hard push this wave, get a play ring, and deny a couple of minutes. Because that's what would have happened if he hard pushed this wave. This cannon dies either way at this point, even if you E through the wave. But the advantage that you get is that you get a play ring on top of that. But Caps has a habit of progressing the game. This is more common among top laners, to be fair, than mid laners, but apparently mid laners can do this as well. Caps has a habit of progressing through bouncing back the wave towards himself and holding a freeze. That's a habit that Caps has, and it's a bad habit. In this season, especially. Because you should progress through play rings when given opportunity. So, don't be like Caps. Don't always progress for allowing the wave to bounce back into you. Think a little bit more deeper instead. Think about your reset. Think about if you can get play rings. Think about what your opponent wants to do. And yeah, that will be it. Hope you've enjoyed. And yeah, bye bye.